All right, builders, welcome. Today, we are ringside for a huge main event, the battle for the 1080p gaming crown. We've got two major contenders fighting for the title of Best Value Graphics Card. And you know what? We're going to break it all down, round by round, to help you find the true champion for your next PC build.
Look, if you're out there trying to pick the perfect card for 1080p gaming, you know this feeling, right? You're stuck. The choice between Team Red and Team Green is it's tougher than ever. Both are promising you the world, but in totally different ways. So the real question is, which one is actually worth your hard-earned cash?
So here's our fight card. First, we'll introduce our two contenders. Then we're diving into three big rounds: raw gaming power, tech and features, and the all-important power, price, and size. And at the end, we'll help you pick your winner. Let's get right into it.
All right, let's meet them. In the red corner, fighting out of AMD, we have the Radeon RX 7600. And in the green corner, representing NVIDIA, the GeForce RTX 4060. Both are aiming for that same 1080p title, but trust me, they have very different game plans to get there.
Think of it like this. The RX 7600, that's your raw power brawler. It's all about brute force, just throwing punches to get the highest frame rates possible. And it comes in a little cheaper at around $269. Then you have the RTX 4060, the tech-savvy strategist. It relies on smart features and efficiency, with a price tag of about $299. And that $30 difference, that's the core of this entire showdown.
Okay, ding ding ding, round one is all about raw gaming power. We're talking pure rasterization, no fancy lighting tricks, no AI magic, none of that. This is just about raw frames per second, the classic old-school way to measure a GPU's muscle.
And boom, right out of the gate in Cyberpunk 2077, the RX 7600 lands a solid hit. At 1080p Ultra, it's pushing 58 FPS, with the 4060 trailing at 52. Now that 6-frame gap might not sound huge, but it's the kind of difference you can actually feel, making things just a bit smoother. A clear early lead for Team Red.
So, let's see if that was a fluke. We'll jump into a fast-paced shooter like Warzone, where every single frame counts. And wow, the RX 7600 is just flying here at 136 FPS. That's a full 11 frames ahead of the 4060. If you've got a high refresh rate monitor, that's not just a number on a chart. That's a real competitive advantage.
And just to really seal the deal for this round, let's look at Starfield. It's the exact same story. AMD's card consistently pulls ahead, and it delivers a gaming experience that is just noticeably smoother. When it comes to traditional, straightforward gaming, the RX 7600's brute force strategy is definitely paying off.
So after putting them through the ringer in 3 really demanding games, the verdict for this round is crystal clear. For pure, no-frills gaming performance, round 1 goes decisively to the Radeon RX 7600. In a straight-up fight, it's just plain faster.
But hold on, a modern GPU battle isn't just about throwing punches. Round 2 is all about the special moves. We're talking advanced tech like ray tracing and AI upscaling that can totally flip the script. This is where the tech-savvy strategist, the RTX 4060, is planning its big comeback.
First up, we've got ray tracing. You know, this is that cutting-edge tech that gives games those mind-blowing, hyper-realistic lights, reflections, and shadows. It is absolutely beautiful. But, man, it is a serious workout for your hardware. And yeah, this is where we see a night and day difference. The RTX 4060 has specialized hardware. It's RT cores that give it a massive advantage. It's just so much better for anyone who actually wants to turn on these next-gen visuals. The RX 7600 can technically do it, but honestly, it just can't keep up here. The other secret weapon here is AI-powered upscaling. Now, both cards have a version of this, but they are not the same. This tech is like magic. It cleverly boosts your frame rates, letting you squeeze way more performance out of your GPU, especially when you've got demanding stuff like ray tracing turned on. And this right here, this is the 4060's ace in the hole. AMD's FSR is awesome, don't get me wrong, and it works on pretty much anything. But NVIDIA's DLSS 3 has a killer feature called frame generation. This tech can literally double your frame rates in some games. It's an absolute game changer. It's exclusive to the 4060 in this fight, and it easily secures a win for Team Green in round 2. Okay, so we're all tied up, 1 round apiece. It's time for the final round, the practical stuff. This is the tail of the tape, where we look at the physical specs that decide how a card is actually going to fit, not just in your case, but in your budget too.
So looking at the numbers, VRAM is a tie. Both cards are rocking 8 gigs, but that's kind of where the similarities end. The big story is power and size. The RX 7600 is pretty thirsty, pulling 165 watts, while the RTX 4060 just sips power at 115 watts. And on top of that, the 4060 is usually a bit shorter, which makes it way easier to fit into all sorts of different builds.
Let's just focus on that 50-watt difference for a second. That is a huge deal. It's a massive win for the RTX 4060. Why? Because less power means less heat. Less heat means your fans don't have to spin like crazy, so you get a quieter system. And if you're even thinking about a small, compact build, that efficiency is an absolute knockout punch.
But wait, it's not a clean sweep for the 4060 in this round. What about just raw value for money? When we look at that, the RX 7600 claws a point back. This chart basically shows you're getting more raw frames for every dollar you spend on the 7600. So, while the 4060 wins big on efficiency and size, the 7600 wins on pure upfront value. We've got to call this round a split decision.
And there it is. After 3 incredibly close rounds, the fight is over. But you know what? There's no single winner that I can just hand a belt to. The true champion of this fight really depends on what you, the person building the PC, care about the most. So the judge's decision? It's all yours.
Let's break it down. If you are a pure gamer, and your goal is simple, you want the most raw frames for the least amount of money for regular gaming, then the Radeon RX 7600 is your champion. It's a no-brainer. It is the undisputed king of performance per dollar.
On the other hand, if you're the kind of person who wants to see the future of gaming, with all the realistic ray tracing, eye candy, and you want that insane FPS boost from DLSS 3, well then the GeForce RTX 4060 is the obvious winner. Its feature set is just on another level, and it's a much smarter long-term buy. And finally, there's one more scenario. If you're building in a small, compact case where every degree of heat and every bit of noise matters, the RTX 4060 wins again, hands down. That incredible power efficiency makes it the perfect pick for a tiny, cool, and quiet gaming rig.
Now, everything we've talked about today, all the numbers and data, it all comes from our go-to source, bestgpusforgaming.com. If you want to dive way deeper, see how these cards do in other games, or check the latest live prices, their site is the place to be. It's an awesome resource.
So there you have it. The choice is yours. Are you going with the raw power brawler or the tech-savvy strategist? Whatever you decide, just remember, keep it cool and keep building.